The story begins with a lion chasing and killing a cheetah. Cheetah had cubs who are now left orphaned. One of the cubs wanders through a fence and ends up on the road at night. A car comes by. Inside the car are a boy named Shan and his father. They notice the cub and approach it. Knowing that several vehicles pass through the road at night, they realize the cub might get run over. So, they decide to take the cub home for its safety. Initially, Shan's father has no intention of keeping the cheetah cub, but after spending a few days with it, they grow fond of it. They decide to keep the cub until it is fully grown. Shan names the cub Duma. As time passes, Duma begins to grow. Shan, along with a boy from the neighborhood, even trains Duma to run. They ride a motorcycle while Duma chases them, but Duma is so fast that even at full speed, the motorcycle can't outrun him. Eventually, Duma becomes a full-grown cheetah. One day, Shan's father tells him that it's time to return Duma to the AGCA, to the wild where they found him. He explains that their home is not Duma's true habitat, and he won't survive there forever. Shan resists, saying Duma doesn't want to be wild. He wants to stay with them. He also points out how rare cheetahs have become. Shan's father marks several places on a map where cheetahs still live and says this is where we found Duma, and this is where he belongs. Understanding his father's point, Shan agrees. But before they can return Duma to the wild, Shan's father falls ill and passes away. After the father's death, Shan's mother tells him they must lease the farm and move to the city so she can work, as they have no other options. Though Shan doesn't want to go, he agrees. Now, Shan, his mother, and Duma move to the city. Shan is enrolled in a school. One day, when his mother goes to pick him up, Duma escapes from home and follows her car, eventually reaching the school. Shan sees Duma, but is not allowed to leave class. Soon, chaos breaks out as students notice the cheetah. Duma starts running, causing panic. Shan finally finds Duma in the school restroom, where some boys are bullying him. Duma scares them off, and they drop money they had stolen. Shan collects the money, and then he and Duma flee the school with security guards chasing them. They run until they reach the outskirts of the city. Knowing that returning home would mean Duma getting captured, Shan makes a decision. He remembers the promise he and his father made to return Duma to his natural habitat. He writes a letter to his mother, saying he will return Duma and come back. He sets off on his father's old motorcycle with Duma as a passenger. After traveling a great distance, Shan checks the map with the marked locations his father left. He sees there's still a long journey ahead, but they continue. Eventually, the bike runs out of fuel. Shan begins pushing it through the wilderness. The area around them is vast and wild, with no one in sight. Let me know if you'd like this story, transformed into a video script, shortened for narration, or broken into chapters. Here's the English translation of your story continuation. Keeping the narrative and emotional tone consistent, they can't see anything at first. But as they move further ahead, they spot the crest plain. Shan and Duma decide to take shelter there. They have no food, no water, and no fuel left in the bike. Both of them are completely exhausted, so they choose to rest there for a while. As they are resting, a man shows up. His name is Rip. He's a drifter, someone who wanders from place to place without any particular purpose or job. Rip tries to take Shan's motorcycle and is about to ride off when Shan hears the engine and rushes outside. Shan confronts Rip and asks what he's doing. Rip casually replies that he's heading south and asks, "Is that a problem?" Shan says they're going west. Rip smirks and asks, "We? Who else is with you?" That's when Duma comes out and seeing the cheetah. Rip gets terrified. Shan asks him if he has any water and offers to take him along if he shares it. Rip hands him some water and asks why the bike isn't running. Shan tells him it's out of fuel, but then Shan gets an idea. They find a parachute inside the plane, which Shan ties to the front of the bike. As the wind fills the parachute, it pushes the bike forward like a desert sailboat, a trick his father once taught him. They continue their journey this way for a long distance, but eventually the terrain gets rough with bushes. and they have to leave the bike behind. Now all three, Shan, Duma, and Rip, are severely thirsty. Rip says he'll try to find water and starts digging in a good spot. After digging a deep hole, water finally gushes out, and they quench their thirst. But hunger still remains. Soon after, they spot an ostrich. Shan wants to teach Duma how to survive in the wild by learning to hunt. He sends Duma after the ostrich, but since Duma has never hunted before, he fails to catch it. However, he does find the ostrich's eggs, and they all eat those to satisfy their hunger. Later, Shan shows Rip the map, explaining where he wants to go. Rip tells him the place is too far. Going there would mean walking into death. Shan says he's not afraid. Rip tells him he should be afraid. After thinking for a while, Rip agrees to take Shan halfway, but says he'll go his own way after that. They all start moving again. But when Shan checks his compass, he realizes they're heading north instead of west. Still, he doesn't say anything to Rip yet. As they move ahead, they come across some ruins, and a helicopter appears in the sky. It's actually a search helicopter. Looking for Shan, Rip tells Shan to hide, and all three of them hide inside the ruins until the helicopter leaves. They spend the night there. Next morning, as they are about to leave, Rip notices an abandoned mine. Shan hears Rip screaming from inside the mine. When he rushes in, he sees Rip buried in mud. Shan clears the mud from Rip's face and arms, but doesn't completely free him. He knows that if he lets Rip out, Rip will force them to come with him, and might try to sell Duma. Shan confronts Rip, saying he knows he was trying to take them back to the city to turn Shan in and sell Duma. Shan then leaves Rip behind and continues westward alone with Duma. They reach the edge of a river. Shan decides to build a raft so they can cross, builds it out of wood, and both of them get on as they float downstream. The river turns into a waterfall, and both Shan and Duma fall into it. Thankfully, they survive and find themselves in a dense jungle. Hungry again, they come across a herd of wild buffaloes. Duma tries to hunt one, but they are too big and aggressive. Not having the hunting skills yet, Duma gets chased away by the buffaloes. Both Duma and Shan are left hungry once more. Let me know if you'd like this turned into a short script, a YouTube summary, or stylized narration. Here is the full English translation of the final part of your story. They both get separated. Although Zane tries to find Duma, he can't, because Duma gets trapped in a cage set by humans. Now night falls. While Zane is searching for Duma, a wild animal starts chasing him to kill him. Zane is running away from it when his foot trips on something and he falls. He becomes unconscious. When he wakes up at night, he sees Rip sitting in front of him. Rip has also rescued Duma from the cage and saved Zane's life. The next morning, Zane apologizes to Rip for leaving him behind. Rip tells him, "You thought Rightsy was actually thinking about how much money I could make by turning both of you in. But now, he no longer wants to do that. He wants to help them." Rip tells Zane about his past, how he left his village and family to go to the big city to earn money, but he failed and ended up in jail. Now, he never wants to go back to jail again. All three are hungry, so they try to hunt again. But Duma misses catching a deer once more. They say they'll probably have to stay hungry. Just then, they spot some people camping nearby who have lots of food. Zane comes up with a plan, pretends to be an injured boy and approaches them. When they open his shirt, there's a snake hidden inside. The people panic and run away, and Zane and Rip take all their food and escape. They find a boat and once again travel down the river. Zane tries to give Rip the money he had received at school, but Rip refuses. After Zane insists, Rip finally accepts it. Rip also has some diamonds he found in the mine, and he gives one to Zane so that he'll always remember him. After completing their river journey, they start heading west. Rip knows this place, his village isn't too far from here. That night, Rip takes Zane into a cave and says, "My grandfather used to bring me here, but people don't come anymore." Zane tells Rip that his dad had died recently and disappeared suddenly forever. He asks, "Why does that happen?" Rip explains, "We're all flowing in the same river, some go today, some tomorrow. Everyone has to leave this world one But the most important thing is to do our duty well while we're still here. Rip tells Zane to return to his mom after dropping off Duma. I will also return to my family, he says. I don't know if they will forgive me. The next morning, as they continue their journey, they are attacked by a swarm of dead sea flies, blood-sucking insects that also feed on dead animals. Rip covers Zane with his clothes to protect him, but he cannot save himself. The flies bite Rip all over, and by evening, his condition worsens. His body becomes extremely swollen. It begins to rain, making it hard to light a fire. So they burn the money they have to start a fire. Zane realizes that Rip won't survive unless he brings help, tells Duma to stay behind and heads alone. To the village, he returns with help, but Rip's face is so swollen that no one recognizes him. At the village, they apply a healing paste all over Rip's face, which dries and forms a mask. The next morning, they peel it off and finally realize it's Rip. Rip's entire family is called, and he reunites with his wife, kids, and mother. His family is overjoyed to see him again. Rip introduces Zane to them. The next morning, Zane goes outside but can't find Duma. When he goes further out searching, he sees Duma playing with another cheetah. They're hunting a deer together. Seems like Duma belongs here. Maybe that other cheetah is his long-lost sibling. Zane remembers what his father once told him. Duma belongs to the wild. If you love him, let him live the life he was born for. Zane decides to leave Duma in his rightful home. Duma comes to Zane, and they share a moment of love and connection. This is their final goodbye. They might never see each other again. After saying farewell to Duma, Zane meets Rip once more, and then returns straight to his mother. She is overjoyed to see him and hugs him tightly. Through this entire journey, Zane learns that in this world everything has its rightful place. Duma belongs to the wild, that's his home and life. Rip belongs with his family, and Zane belongs with his mom. This story teaches us a lot. It shows us how important it is to understand our responsibilities. Rip's responsibility was his family. Zane's was to take Duma back to his home. And in this journey, Zane also learned that death is inevitable. Sooner or later, it comes for all. But no matter how much we love someone, everyone has their own place in the world. Just like Duma's place was the jungle. Rip's place was with his family, and Zane's place was with his mother. And that's where this movie ends. Let me know in the comments what movie you'd like to hear about next, and if you liked this video. ***, don't forget to like it and subscribe to the channel.